Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling a medium difficulty problem called count the number of computer unlocking permutations. This one sounds pretty complicated when you first read it, with lots of rules about dependencies and indexes, but it actually hides a very clever logic puzzle inside. Once we spot the trick, the solution becomes surprisingly simple. Let's break it down together. So here's the setup. We have a room full of locked computers. We're given a list called complexity, which tells us the password complexity for each computer. Computer number 0 is special. It's already unlocked right from the start. Our goal is to figure out how many different orders, or permutations, we can use to unlock all the remaining computers. But there's a catch. You can't just unlock them in any order you want. Let's clarify exactly how we unlock things. We start with only computer 0. To unlock a new computer, let's call it computer I, we need to find a helper computer that is already unlocked. Let's call this helper J. Two things must be true. First, the index j must be smaller than index I. Second, and this is the important part, the complexity of our helper j must be strictly smaller than the complexity of I. If we can't find a helper like that, we're stuck. We need to count how many valid sequences exist, where we can successfully unlock every single computer in the room. Every valid sequence has to start with computer 0, because that's the only one available initially. From there, every subsequent computer in our list must have a valid parent among the ones we've already opened. Since the number of ways can be huge, we need to return the answer modulo 10 to the power of 9 plus 7. Let's look at a simple example to ground this. We have complexities 1, 2, and 3 for computers 0, 1, and 2. Computer 0 is unlocked. It has complexity 1. Can we unlock computer 1 next? Well, computer 1 has complexity 2. Is there an unlocked computer with a smaller index and smaller complexity? Yes, computer 0. 1 is less than 2, so that works. Then we have computer 2 with complexity 3. We can use computer 0 or computer 1 to unlock it, because both have smaller complexities. So strictly increasing complexities seems easy. Just a quick heads up. We'll be walking through the solution using Python logic first because it's really clean for this problem. But don't worry if that's not your main language. I've got the full code for Java, C++, and JavaScript ready for you towards the end of the video. This problem is classified as a brain teaser for a reason. Instead of simulating every possible path, let's think about what makes a path impossible. Remember, computer 0 is our only starting point. It has some complexity value. To unlock the next machine, that machine needs a higher complexity. And the one after that needs an even higher one, or at least one higher than the root. But what happens if there is a computer in the list, let's say at index I, that has a complexity smaller or equal to computer 0? Let's follow that thought. If computer I has a complexity less than or equal to computer 0, can we ever unlock it? To unlock I, we would need a helper j with an even smaller complexity, and that helper would need an even smaller one. Ultimately, the chain must start at computer 0, but if computer I is already smaller than or equal to the root, there is no valid path of increasing complexity from the root to I. It's impossible. So if even one computer satisfies this condition, the answer is immediately 0. Now what if that impossible case doesn't happen? That means every other computer in the room has a complexity strictly greater than computer 0. Think about what that implies. It means computer 0 is a universal key. It can directly unlock computer 1, computer 5, or computer 100. Since computer 0 is always available first, every other computer instantly satisfies its condition just by having computer 0 unlocked. This means the specific order of the rest of the computers doesn't matter anymore. So, if the impossible case is ruled out, we just need to count the permutations. We have n computers total. Computer 0 must be first. That leaves n-1 slots to fill with n-1 computers. Since they can go in any order, the number of ways is simply the factorial of n-1. We just multiply 1 times 2 times 3, all the way up to n-1. Okay, we've talked about the big picture and the logic. Now let's see what this looks like as actual code. I'll put the full solution up on the screen first. And don't worry, after that, we'll walk through the most important sections together. Here is the Python implementation. It's incredibly short because the logic does all the heavy lifting. We basically just do one check. And if that passes, we do a quick multiplication loop. Let's break it down into chunks. First, we get the total number of computers, viron len. Then we loop through every computer starting from index 1. Inside the loop, we check our impossible condition. Is the complexity at this index less than or equal to the complexity at index 0? If it is, we know we've hit a dead end. We can never unlock this computer, so valid permutations are 0. We return 0 right away. If we make it past the loop, it means every computer is unlockable. Now we just need to calculate the factorial of n-1. We start our answer at 1. We define our modulo value. Then we loop from 2 up to n. In each step, we multiply our answer by the current number I and take the modulo. This effectively calculates the factorial for the remaining items. Finally, we return the result. So how fast is this solution? For time complexity, it is big O of n. We iterate through the list of complexities exactly once to check for the impossible case, and then potentially one more time to calculate the factorial. Both are linear operations. For space complexity, it's big O of 1. We just use a few variables for the answer and the loop counter, so we aren't using any extra memory that grows with the input size. Alright, that covers the main solution in Python. As promised, for those of you who code in other languages, I'm about to show the full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. I won't be breaking these down, so just pause the video on your language of choice to check it out. Alright, as promised, here is the full solution in Java. It follows the exact same logic. You can pause the video here to take a closer look at the implementation. Next up, here is the C++ version of the solution. We use long to prevent overflow during the factorial calculation. Again, feel free to pause and review the code. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. Notice we use bigint here to handle the potentially large numbers before the modulo operation. Hopefully, seeing it in a few different languages helps solidify the concepts. So let's wrap it up. The key to this problem wasn't trying to simulate complex permutations. It was identifying the constraint. Everything depends on the root. Once we realized that if the root is the smallest value, it can unlock everyone else immediately, the problem collapsed into a simple factorial calculation. Sometimes, thinking about what makes a solution impossible is faster than trying to find all the ways it is possible. Alright, before we go, I want to quickly show you a personal project I built to solve a problem that always drove me crazy. It's an app called My Daily To-Do. My biggest frustration with every other to-do app was retyping the same things every single day. Go to the gym, review code, work on the daily Leetcode problem. You know the drill. So I built my app around one simple but powerful idea: separating your routine tasks from your one-off tasks. Routine tasks, marked with the little refresh icon, automatically reset for the next day. One-off tasks, like ship new feature, get the little puff of smoke icon, and they disappear for good once you're done. This small change turns a dumb checklist into a smart scheduler. If that sounds useful, you can try it right now on the web. The link is in the description. And one more thing I want to make super clear. Right now, as a thank you for being an early supporter, the app is 100% free. There are no ads and no subscriptions whatsoever. This means you get access to everything, including really powerful features like presets, which let you save entire task lists and load them with a single tap. Now, down the road, creating new presets will likely become part of a premium plan to help support the channel. But, and this is the important part, any presets you create now, while it's all free, are yours to keep and use forever. So it's the perfect time to check it out on the web, play with all the features, and build out your perfect setup at no cost. If you enjoyed this problem and want to keep practicing, the learning doesn't have to stop here. I've organized all my video solutions into handy playlists. Whether you're looking to grind through more Leetcode easy, medium, or hard problems, or you want to master a specific topic like sliding window or dynamic programming, I've got a playlist for you. It's the perfect way to focus your study sessions. Go to the playlist tab and find a playlist that fits your goals. Also, if you're looking for even more Leetcode problems beyond the daily challenge, I've started a second channel called Leetcode Unlocked. It's where I'll be posting solutions to a ton of other problems. So if you're serious about your interview prep, be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Hope this Leetcode solution breakdown made sense. If it helped, give that like button a click, maybe subscribe for more, or drop a comment if you have questions. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you know straight away when I upload a video, because I upload videos daily. If you want to support the channel, a few people have asked how I plan my solutions. I'm a big fan of sketching out the logic and data structures on a tablet before I code. It really helps. I've put affiliate links in the description to the tablet I use and a few other good options. Using those links doesn't cost you anything extra but really helps me out. Or, if you're feeling generous, there's always the Boba Fund. Keep coding and I'll catch you in the next one.